Hi and welcome to Now TV Canada. Currently still located in Toronto somewhere, but actually in the process of getting to that dream location, that final settlement of Niagara Falls, so I can be at the border and cross back and forth into the city and go chase after those American dreams of my Canadian world. Anyways, I posted a poem last night in response to somebody's video that a friend on my Facebook list had shared with everybody, and then I got a comment today asking me to basically record it because they wanted to hear it. So I thought that was really cool, and I really appreciated that. I have spent a lot of my life struggling with my dreams and visions and goals without having any positive reinforcement or feedback from people I've known my entire life. The energy of Canada, unlike what people might think about this country, has negativity that is so deep and dark-seated and heavy. It's terrible. They don't know when to support their own. They don't know when to publish their own people's work in order for them to leave this country and go branch off into other countries and see how good it is to have backed them from here before going there. I literally have to leave this country, go out there, get successful on that side of the world, and then come back and have these people go, oh, and acknowledge me. And it's just absurd and wrong. So I've had to work really hard to get as good as I think I am at this point in order to get that achievement and acknowledgement over there, which I know with my heart that the people over there would be embracing and accepting and loving and enjoying and sharing the work that I have, more so than I have spent in this country my whole life sharing what I've done. I've been writing since I could hold a pen. I wrote my first story when I was 5. I've been writing my name since I was 4. I don't remember the story. I remember the book I wrote it in, but my mom didn't keep that stuff from my diary. The important things, my favorite little things, so I can't share or reflect and reread and look on that stuff. I just have the memories, like a photograph of those particular days and what I was doing. Without further ado, I think with the positive feedback I got based on the negative reaction I'd gotten for posting that poem in the first place as a reply under the video that person on my list had said I shouldn't have done without sending it through private message, which made me think, what on earth is Facebook for if I can't write what I want on my Facebook from my perspective after something public like that is shared with me, and thinking it needs to be shared to show that the time frame and the reflection of the balances of 20 years ago to now hasn't changed much. That indeed they have gotten worse rather than better, and that being the truth about the new piece that was shared by the other girl. Just got under me skin and made me realize that I should have been doing more than just that one thing, that through the years I probably should have shared more of the things I have written through video. I mean, I do have hundreds of videos, but it's telling my biography, it's telling my story, my success, my struggles, and my efforts of getting through all this on my own as I work towards getting into New York in my van, so that no matter where I am, I have a place to sleep, because I'm absolutely used to the streets and used to shelter hopping. I guess you call me, what do you call it, super streets, because I never lost my driver's license or my right to work enough to own vehicles, etc., because I don't want to sleep on benches and in tents and in parks and shelters. I want to be able to just get in my car, make enough gas money to go to the next town or the next trailer park or whatever, and recite and play on the street and do my thing. I'm totally freelance, totally a free-spirited person, and I hate these borders. I hate what it's done to disrupt our friendship and our bonding and our growth between us as a nation. You gotta remember, we're all immigrants, no matter what side of the border we're on. 5,000 years, the native people, the Algonquin Nation and the Blackfoot Nation were here living in this land, which was one land, before we ever came here to disrupt their world and their life and take away everything that is theirs. So my view of this 21st century modern world is something where we should be kicking down those borders. We should be disrupting it. They should be able to push through like a subway station when you swipe card and just walk across back and forth. Riding a bike, or people just holding stop signs on either side. You ain't going to stop the crime. The terrorism, the hatred. Those people have no criminal records. They are the best at what they do, and they have money coming out their from their crime syndicates and from parts of the world, etc. So it's not going to stop.
And people like me that just want to live free and are harmless and in fact more helpful to the whole thing being held back or being kept out because I don't have enough money to take vacations. I don't live a high enough standard of life financially to be allowed out because of things that have happened to New York because of places of way off in the world that have nothing to do with me or anybody like me. And it's just terrible that I had to go through this length and process that I have had to go through, which has come across Canada and go to, this will be my third border, and which they've promised me to say this time we'll let you out, since 9/11, in order to get out there to have my career. It's terrible. Which is part of what made me become despondent and discouraged about reading a lot more of my work and sharing it in video format, because I don't want to do two things. One, I don't want to give away all my work for free. I don't get anything out of it. It doesn't pay me to get out of here to go on tour to do things out there. And it gives people no reason to come and watch because, oh, I've heard that or I've read that or something. Two, because once it's all out there, then you have to write new stuff. You have to keep going. I wanted to be able to make a living writing what I do. And I should have started doing that some time ago. But yeah, so I want my van on the road, and it's got a flat, it's got 2 tires at the front, and there's no boys in the hood over here. I don't have a group or a club. They don't have that over here with girls. They don't have that solidarity with guys. They just don't have it in that respect where they can come over here and fix it up and change my wheels, do my brakes, my fluid, my transmission, whatever are draining my battery, and get that thing running so I can get across the border and go on with my show. So it's left me stuck. And so now I'm moving to Niagara Falls, where I could be on disability or working partial jobs in order to get across, so that the border's like, okay, you make enough now, I need to go to New York. But you don't make enough to fly to LA from the airport border. You know what I mean? And most people get across over here because there shouldn't be a disruption of that. We, the people that came here and have lived here and have tried to make peace out of this place, should not be stopped or held back because of hatred and terrorism of people that have come from other parts of the world, different continents, that shouldn't be here disrupting our love and our strength and our passion and our life here, are the ones that should be stopped and monitored and gone into house visits or not be allowed to go any further. But yeah, anyways, that's just my rant. And so I just, yeah, it's hurt my life, and so it's just held me back from this. But last night I'm like, okay, here's somebody that did something that I think I need to reply to, and then my friend on my list kind of hurt my feelings, and I thought, now if that girl saw my video or somebody on that list from the people that had said, hey, that was a good thing, share more, spread it around, then maybe something even better and bigger can grow from this. So without further ado, I'm gonna try and set this up. I have written so much stuff in 22 years, I just can't memorize it all. I'm too old. When you get to my age, your brain cells slow down and you start losing brain cells and forgetting stuff. I've written like 4 albums of completed songs. I'm starting a 5th one, and now I'm writing rap, which is funny. You'd think I would have started doing that a long time ago because I write poems and rhyme so well, and they're so long. That you think it would have automatically been like that a long time ago, but I didn't, because I was too busy living the life to spend a lot of time listening to it, because I'm realizing that it's a form of therapy. Men make bad what do you call it? Men make bad hoes. They're not good at it, right? So they had to find other avenues and venues in life on the streets to speak their mind and make a living, to keep them busy from the poverty and the drug dealing and the guns and stuff, right? And so I haven't had to listen to a lot of it because I need positive in my life, and it's bad if you listen too much negativity, you go out and do negative things, right? But I think we're at a point today where a lot of the rap has really come 360 full circle, and it's done its job, and it's really good today. So now I'm in a place where I can maybe share my work that way too. This is called Downfalls, which I wrote when I was in a shelter in London, Ontario,
where I was living for 4 months, which was shell shock for me because I'm city girl, big city girl. The smallest amount of people I had lived in my entire life at that point was there, which was 250,000 people, and I went crazy for 4 months. I did nothing to do, and I knew I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get into trouble because everybody knows everybody's problems. So it would have been impossible to hold down a job or do anything. Or even have a boyfriend, because then it would just go through town. So I'm like, no, I can't stay here. I visited with my grandma a bit and stuff like that, was living there for a while, but I'm like, no, I'm out of here. So I left, but I didn't leave without taking something. This piece is big because I've entered it in a contest along with 2 other envelopes to a contest that's being held here in Canada. The winners are not announced until November. In Montreal. First prize is $6,000. Then there's second prize, third prize, first, second, third, and fourth runners up. So I have lots of placings I can stand to land in with the 3 different applications I put in to be a part of this contest, and think it was worth it because I think it's time that something I wrote gets attention and wins. I need a win. I've had honorary mention once for a poem in a contest I entered last year, which was only the second contest I've ever entered in my entire writing life, so I was pretty happy with that. Honorary mention is a big deal, especially when I wrote in a submission that was a whole story, a biography about my grandparents and war and reflection it does to the families ongoing, generations to come, and how the power of the poem apparently had impressed them enough by itself to have gotten the honorary mention. And then that's what they had said. Forget the story. The poem said it all. And I was like, really? Cool. So, no, that's cool. It was just the words from the poem that made that win, that honorary mention. And I got money for that, man. That's cool. It was an envelope and a ticket and a certificate. And it's just, and I got to read it. And it was up on the Facebook thing. And it was just, yeah, it was cool. And so I'm like, yeah. So I said I got to do it again. So, I did. And so now I've entered another poem contest. It's actually an actual poem. Just poetry only contest, and so I'm waiting, and this is one of the pieces I put in there, and here we go. So it's called Downfalls. I'm in shock. I've let it happen again, only this time the guy left me a tip. I don't want to believe that this has happened to me. I had plans for my future, and this wasn't it. Another guide took me again, another guide down another dead end, another guide just a one-way friend. I'm confused about what I feel until the moment that it's real. Then I know I want to let it all go and bring it to an end, and maybe have some self-respect again, except the cycle always wins. I don't want to be hurting, but the fear of being alone never goes away. My heart wants a home, some place to call her own, so in another man's arms I lay, trying to find a place my heart can stay. Another guide took me again, another ride down another dead end, another guide just a one-way friend. I'm angry about the fact that you're not the only one to blame. I'm angry because now it's too late for me to change. The actions have been done. A failure is what I've become. No longer will I be able to follow my dreams of success, for this time my actions have caught up with me in full. I cannot blame this mess on the innocent life that grows inside of me. It's my fault I never stopped to consider the downfalls and what they might be. I don't understand why I didn't think first, but in the final end, I was the one who paid the price time and time again. Another guy took me again. Another ride down another dead end. Another guide took again. Another just a one-way friend. The whole thing has left me feeling like I've lost control over myself, my feelings, my life, and myself. I'm ashamed about the fact that I have to face when I go home. My family and friends will think when they take a look at me. They'll talk to each other as though I'm not there. For some smart, she sure was stupid. How disappointed to see her in such a mess. Oh, how they will never look at me the same, and I have no one else but me to blame. The guy took me again, another ride on another dead end. Another guy again, another guy, just a one-way friend. Now, I said it that way because I was going to say it from the perspective of how those girls were feeling back then. And since then, what it's like to be sent away from parents when you go home and tell them I'm pregnant. And you're, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, whatever, almost done high school, whatever, and it could be between 2 guys you slept with in 1 month without protection, or whatever the case may be. Some usually do know, and some might not know, and they just look at you like, Why would you ruin your life like that? Rather than being there as a positive reinforcement or support system, they're like, get out. If you're old enough to do that and you're old enough to take on the chances of doing that, then I don't want you in my house, la-da-da, loose moral conducts, or whatever it was, which was like back then around homes and parents and people, and what we've taught from the Bible and all that Christianity, as though, oh, well, you're going to die a sinner, you're going to die being condemned because you break these rules. Instead of going, we can work this out, discuss the options of adoption, chasing down who the dad is, so on and so forth and stuff. So I wrote it from their perspective of how it's like to be in the place where I was at, when I was overwhelmed and shocked by what I was looking around me, because I never got to go down that option. That road wasn't there for me. But it's like to date boys, have boyfriends through school, high school, junior school, whatever, all that stuff. And then you feel good for a couple of moments, and then you're like, oh, maybe this guy's going to stay in my life. And then you do it, and then you're like, damn. And she's left the building and left the bed, right? Because all he wanted was, some action or whatever. And you're like feeling used. I never did. I never could. I was too busy growing up, going to high school during the day, working streets at night. I was a totally different world for me. I was like the only American girl in Canada, keeping my life secret to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. But as far as dating and boys and stuff, my legs were shut, man. I had nothing, boyfriends, this, that, and the other thing. I swear by condoms and protection and testing and stuff, and I was just overwhelmed and shocked by everything I was watching at 19 around me about girls just laying out the bed and just laying it out there because they want to be accepted and look pretty. It's the tight clothes, the big boobs, the perfect butt, and all that stuff. That it is so just that, the hair and the makeup and everything. So I wrote that while I was staying at that place, realizing I was there because I'm a casualty of hitchhiking. I'm living on the streets, traveling around, trying to grow and develop so I can get an education and get a job that pays me well enough to get somewhere and be somebody. I wasn't pregnant. I wasn't carrying with child. I wasn't going to discuss the options or thoughts of abortion, which I never could have crossed the boundaries of in my life personally. But if you're raped, I do have respect, and I'm okay with person pro-choice if it's been put in you violently, which is the point of my closing of the story, is that it's taken me 20 years to deal with how that feels in my life now, understanding what they felt then, because I got an unwanted baby. She's now 4, and I was trying to give her up for adoption to an actor. Many of you will know him as Superman, Clark Kent, on the TV show Smallville, Tom Welling. Because when she was born, it wasn't that I was thinking about him, or preoccupied by him at all beforehand. I was just doing my own thing, living my own career. It was about, I looked at her and I saw who. And usually when you give a baby up for adoption, we do know, right? If we have in mind set on who or what we want, we know. And I did. I looked at her and I saw him. I saw this whole world. And I couldn't just flip up my phone and say, hey, come to this hospital. Your firstborn is here. You have a baby, and put her in his arms and have them take it off from there. And my 4-year focus and goal has been about finding him and getting the two of them together. But in that process, I felt ripped and torn apart. I went through despondency, PTSD. It was terrible. I really, though I loved the baby and didn't do anything to hurt her, I did want to take the car seat and want to put it in the middle of the road and have a bloody truck come and just mull it over, because I didn't have the time, the desire, the need for this. I didn't get to go through 9 months of Lamaze class. I didn't know I was pregnant because I'm a big girl, and I never gained a pound. I was size 36 the whole pregnancy. She comes out 9 pounds. The only reason she comes out is because of the needle I went for to get Demerol shot, because of the pain in my back that I've had from spinal injuries from my youth. I've been thrown down a couple of flights of stairs. Well, I fell down one flight of stairs, got thrown down another flight of stairs, and fell, and so re-injured an injury that never got dealt with in the first place, kind of injury. And I tell you, if it wasn't for that needle, she wouldn't be alive. She probably would have been born stillborn. I wasn't given the choice or the option or the thought process of, hey, do I want to give it away, or do I want to have an abortion because of the fact that I might have, because it was, what would you call it? That I'd wanted last time when you're trying to break it off with somebody that you spent some time with and get busy with a little bit, and then you're like, I just not feeling it, and it's not doing it, and go away, and no, and he's like, yeah, just one more time, and he won't use it. He won't protect himself, he won't protect you, won't respect, and then you just do it, and then out comes this human life, and I suddenly felt like those girls all these years later, only from the perspective of how it's unwanted. Same feelings being raped, again and again and again. So I'm like, not cool. And now I've had her in my mom's care for most of those 4 years, and I've only had some time with her and also time over the phone and the internet, and realized that the long-term goal was to get to New York to go look for him, which is where he's essentially from somewhere, or to get successful enough so that my kids have a life and money, then never have to go through the one I've survived. You know that song and those words, what is it? I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing, because when a heart breaks, it don't break even. But when you spend your whole life living in a state of heartache, being hurt constantly, it's hard to find the positives, to stay upbeat and succeed and stay focused on that success. And I've had to. And so it matters. It matters. Sharing your thoughts, it matters. The poems matter. The work matters. And I think everybody out there should know to keep it up and don't stop. Share. Share, because that's the way to fight back. That's the way to fix this. That's the way to change the battle and win the war. Is anybody that's willing to listen, be invited to be heard. So that's my thing. So maybe I'll do some more. This is from an anthology that I wrote over a 2-year period of my life as a teenager, from 17 to 19. And I touched it up at 28, but it never got into a book format. And then I sent the only printed copy I had, so I can't read more from that, to some guys in the States, and as a promise to say that I'm going to get there. We will meet in person, and then I will get it published over there after the final touches are done, to go with the 3 books of poetry that are finished now that I have done, which I'd love to get through the underground torrents of the American streets. Love it, love it, love it, love it. If people would chase it, read it, share it. Love it. Because it's cool, it's good, and I'm speaking for a voice and a generation of people that can't speak, don't know how, don't have the words or the talent, the desire or the education that I fought and struggled to teach myself to get to be able to do at a level that the society can read and say, hey, that's really good sentencing or paragraphing or comma and whatever, and not just see words on paper. So it matters. Don't stop. So hopefully I'll be there soon. Greenwich Village and who knows where else. Tap dancing on Broadway, playing my guitar, busking terribly on the streets with good lyrics, because I'm a great songwriter. So I can find people that want to try my songs out and play better than I got the chance to learn how. So all I could do was write, and hopefully we'll talk then, and people will, ask questions and so on and so forth about upcoming current projects, which is my first movie that I wrote, my first finished screenplay, and my 4th book of poetry, which fits with the mini book series that is now available for purchase from people. But so that's Downfalls. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Leave comments, ask questions, make suggestions. Order your copies of the books, and seek me out on Facebook. And then I can share more links of more work that I have there in my notes section. That's it. Bye for now. Thanks for watching, as I said already, and keep coming back. Peace out. Superwoman, Now TV, Canada.